I think that we did consciously want to bring back some of the electronic.
When the basic guitar-based drums were being laid down, at first I didn't really see a whole lot of room for some of the electronics. But as the songs were starting to develop, I was just in that frame of mind of trying to toy around with some of the electronics. It's easy when I go to the store and I pick up a keyboard or a couple of different effects, and first thing I do is start messing around with it and trying to make some noises.
What we call the Danny Donegan Orchestra. How many different little aspects of sounds and things and whatnot that he layers in there.
It's like a whole other instrument. He's not just playing guitar. He's basically like a programmer, keyboard player as well.
When it comes to electronics, he knows what he's looking for. And he will sit there for literally hours.
It's got to drive the other guys crazy because I'm, kind of like a mad scientist of just sitting in front of the keyboard and looping the part over and over and over.
You want to talk OCD? When Danny starts going into Toyland, that's it. And Danny has so many different gadgets, and he'll go ahead and mess with one gadget on one voice, one sound, in every different part of pitch, with every different rhythm, and to try everything.
He does. He'll just sit there and just play the same thing, slightly different variations of it, over and over and over and over.
Oh my God, dude. That was cool. What was wrong with that? Well, maybe there's something cooler over here. And there might be. And that's the thing that I gotta give Danny, is he's super patient with that shit.
It's that patience and the dedication and the vision that sees it through. What winds up making the record, to me, makes all the difference.
All right, let's just listen one time and then...
This is your little pet song, isn't it? I can tell. I can tell. This is one of his little pet songs. He's really concerned about this one.
I'm concerned about all of them.
I think that's one of the big signature elements of the band, is having that ear candy stuff. Whether it's a little guitar effect or a synth loop or something in the background. It's not a huge element or a part of the song, but if you took it away, the song would definitely be missing something.
All these other tracks here are basically just the ear candy stuff, so I could show you, like when it goes to the verses. This is kind of some of the stuff I had messing around.
And I think that's what I love about our songs, is there's so many different layers of stuff. Is you hear something new every time you hear it, especially if you put it on headphones.
Play it again. Something over here is... You hear that? Am I going nuts?
The prior 3 records, Johnny K was the producer.
I knew him when he was doing, demos for a lot of the local bands around.
He kind of taught us how to do what needs to be done in the studio.
You could be cool if they were a little more like,
how to layer things in, how to track the record properly, how to do the things that we needed to learn to do. We'd tracked stuff before, but we'd never done, more than 2 tracks of anything on any recording.
We learned a lot from him, and we just thought that we'd try and take it another step up in our career.
Okay, what's that mean?
This might have something to do with the call we talked about earlier. Stay tuned.
It was nice to get in there and control the tempo of how we were doing things.
In the past, I would dig as deep as I could, and you'd have Johnny K or somebody, suggesting this or that. But this time, I had Dan on the other side of the console. Yeah, that's good.
Mikey's playing some really intense stuff on this record, so it's understandable that a little help here and there can maybe help streamline the process a little bit.
We wanted Mikey to incorporate a quick cymbal choke.
The real intense part Mikey's doing, and he hits the cymbal and needs to go, but he's also hitting something over here.
I could get the choke, but I couldn't get the tightness of the choke.
Because if I hit the cymbal and can't choke it, it'll ring over.
It was like quick snare roll, choke, and right back in the next part. So it was tough to do.
Unless you get Moyer in to do the cymbal choke.
We send John in the other room to attempt to make the catch of the cymbal choke.
Is John Moyer gonna have to choke a cymbal?
Well, He's not a drummer, and so he doesn't know the technique behind a choke. When you choke a cymbal, you hit the front of it and you grab it right away before it has a chance to wobble or move. John was on the back end of the cymbal, so when I hit it to go down, it's going to come up, and he wasn't expecting that.
So I'm sitting there, and he hits the cymbal, and I reach for it, and of course I miss it.
I don't even think he even caught the cymbal. I think it like went to clap his hands or something.
He completely like fumbled all over the cymbal.
So he has to do the take again, and I miss it again. Now he's just laughing at me, missing the cymbal, but you know, we're wasting time and money, and you know, Mikey's getting tired, he does half a whole take, and then I keep screwing up the cymbal crash, and he's like,
that ending sucked. I was laughing too hard.
The first time we practiced it, you didn't hit it as hard, so I was aiming right here, and then hitting it so hard, right? Jesus Christ, you're making Warrior fuck up.
Stand at the cymbal and choke it.
So finally I was like, got my hands like this far apart, and I was doing a sandwich grab on the cymbal.
John Moyer choking cymbals on the record. See? You never know what you're going to get. So for all your fans out there, they say, is John Moyer the bassist? He's our bassist and our cymbal choker. We thought it would be pretty cool, especially for the fans, if we brought back maybe a song or two that were actually written during the same period that the Sickness songs were written.
Old version of Divide.
Danny brought in some old demo tapes. I'm talking, we're 12 years old, back when Down with the Sickness and Stupefy and all that stuff was written. This is actually written before that.
Resurrecting the song after 10 years with David.
Danny and Mikey, we're like, well, we want to bring back Divide and Perfect Insanity.
Let's see if our songs could stand the test of time. It'll still be cool 10 years later.
Divide, I hadn't even heard ever until the day I recorded that one. I showed up and they're like, oh yeah, well there's a song called Divide. We were going to send it to you, but we thought, you just come in and, you'd track it.
Divide. Which I heard for the first time last night.
Divide is meant to detract from the whole idea of, oh, let's all be one, let's all be united. Fuck that. Be yourself, be an individual, stand out, make your mark, make an impact.
With the way that this record was shaping up, we felt that these two songs in particular really would meld together really well with the rest of the new material.
These older songs that for some reason never got onto the first record.
We weren't happy with them at the time, so they sort of got shelved. You listen back to the old demo and you're like, how did I play that again? What was that?
I listened to the old version of Perfect Insanity, the old demo version, like before we were signed, before anything, and I listened to it and said, oh my God.
You remember that? Vaguely. I'm gonna have to study that shit.
What were we thinking?
Night and day isn't even a clear enough distinction.
I mean, granted, it's old as hell, but
Super old.
That kind of actually forced us to kind of look at how far we've come. Because you look at what your skill level was back then and what you're able to do and what you could put on tape, and then you take the same song with your new skills and your new abilities that you've acquired from years of touring and years of writing, revamp it, re-record it. Compare the two, it's pretty shocking.
It is bad.
Round it like an animal, I can still feel the burn in my mind to believe that you made your message clear.
It's good to know that we have grown.
Now I have no idea what happens beyond this point. I don't remember.
To us, those songs stood the test of time. A hook is a hook.